oh my god, where's he been? Where's he been? No!
Well, it's simple. I was out there taking the power back. Okay. I was checking my mic out there. All right. I was sleeping in Now the Fire. Hi guys, welcome to the first video in this new series on this channel. So basically the idea is for a long time I've been creating music playlists based on like a certain band and sort of envisioning what the coolest set list for that band would be were they to play live. So yeah, that's what I have listed out here. What my perfect set list would be for this band from the opener all the way down to their final song plus 2 encore tracks. I guess I'm kind of envisioning like a 90-minute-ish long set. It depends on the band clearly, but I kind of want to keep this number of tracks relatively similar for any of these videos that I do. So yeah, to get it started today, we're going to be doing it with Rage Against the Machine. And like, I know a lot of people say it, but yeah, like we need Rage now more than ever, 100%. I feel like people have been saying that for like 20 years, just like constantly on and off, just because of all the bullshit that happens on a daily basis. Yay. But here it is, my perfect set list for the band Rage Against the Machine. Perfect timing too, because apparently they're never gonna play live ever again. So what is my preferred opener track for a Rage Against the Machine show? Gonna need to be Born of a Broken Man. Now hear me out, hear me out. Hear me out. Not the full song. The way I see it is this song can be slightly repetitive, but just really gets the energy up very quickly, very efficiently. So if you could imagine it, it would be from the beginning of the song through the first verse and the first chorus with the repeated Born of a Broken Man, not a broken man 4 times. Then like on the last note of that, just let the guitars ring, and then that would be the whole song. Just first verse, first chorus. And as the guitars ring out, I'm thinking transition immediately, no pauses, straight into Guerrilla Radio. Come on, like this pair taking a chunk from Born of a Broken Man, then throwing it directly into Guerrilla Radio would get the energy up so high, probably higher than any other songs I could think in the case of the opener. Now Rage is definitely known for being a perfect blend of that head-banging rock and sick funky rap, so I feel like the perfect show would be a nice even mixture of the two, taking a few tracks to really get the energy out and start headbanging, and then sort of reeling it back for a few tracks before going back into it. So if we start off with that headbanging goodness, I think a perfect third track would definitely be People of the Sun. So definitely dial it back, but not too much, because we are still kind of in the opening section of the show, right? So when I made this list afterwards, I realized that I did not have as heavy of a concentration of songs from their original self-titled album as I thought there would be on here. So I know there's gonna be some fans that are like,
he's not starting with the self-titled song.
I get it. I 100% do, but with Rage having a legacy that's definitely tied in the 90s and not really anywhere else in time, to me, all of their albums are kind of considered equally classic. With that said, if I had to pick, I probably enjoy the style on the Battle of Los Angeles a little bit more than I do on their self-titled. And Evil Empire I kind of see as like its own thing. I can't be the only one that feels this way, right? So Rage really has a lot of hits, so I think after People of the Sun, it would kind of be cool to kind of transition to, not necessarily B-sides, but not necessarily their most popular tracks. For 4 and 5 in order, I have Maria and then Down Rodeo. To me, it makes sense to have more Evil Empire tracks towards the beginning, because I feel like it has more of an emphasis on this crunchy guitar and mainly the lyrics. And even though I think in a nutshell the lyrics on this album can be a little bit more, I guess, repetitive than their other 2 albums. Not including Renegades. I get it. I think it would be kind of cool to have this like call and answer stuff going on maybe in Down Rodeo. Maybe change it up a little bit to make it more live friendly. I don't know. Number 6, finally getting into their older stuff. Let's hit them with Bomb Track. I see a lot of like people wanting this to be the opener. I mean, they've used it as the opener plenty of times before. I don't see it. I think it's a little bit too slow for me to really have that hard-hitting energy as an opener to your whole show. Maybe it's more popular because of the message of the song, maybe it's more popular because it's like the first track off their original album, but for me, I think you could save that for more like the middle of the show rather than the opening. And because of that slightly slower track, I kind of want to pick up the speed on the next one, so we're gonna go with New Millennium Homes. I unfortunately have never seen Rage Against the Machine live. I was not able to go to their previous tour before it ended early, and now apparently it's never gonna happen. We'll see. I mean, you know, like, we'll see. But At this point, still hasn't happened. But shit, man, like New Millennium Homes would be such a kick-ass live song. God. Definitely one of my favorite tracks from the band. I think it's really useful to keep the energy going towards the middle of a set. And after New Millennium Homes, I'm gonna have a big contrast with numbers 8 and 9, right? So number 8, I'm gonna stick it with Bullet in the Head. I think if people have been moshing nonstop at this point, this is a perfect time to sort of like take it back a little bit, right? Really just focus on the lyrics and the funkiness of the first half of Bullet in the Head. And I think the second half of the track perfectly transitions you back into that sort of like heavier mindset, like, okay, our break is done, we gotta get back into the crazy stuff, the wild stuff. I would totally let the last note of Bullet in the Head ring out a little bit, and from there transition directly into Sleep Now in the Fire. I really wanted to keep this track as like the opener or like the end of the show before the encore or the first encore track, but I just couldn't do it because as kick-ass as the opening guitar part is, I did have just kind of better choices in my eyes for those sections of the show. So I thought, you know, if anything, this would be a perfect midpoint of the show to remind everyone, holy shit,
I'm at a Rage Against the Machine show.
you get it. You get it. You get it. Moving to the next half of the show, number 10, hit him with I'm Housin'. I do think the quality of tracks on the Renegades album can vary quite a lot, but I'm Housin', I definitely have a soft spot for it, especially live, because I've heard some live recordings of this, and like, woo, it's like better. Number 11, let's bring the energy back up a little bit. Testify, I think, would be an awesome spot here. And after that, once again, gotta dial it back. Gotta reel it in. Reel it in. You gotta be quicker than that. So number 12, a lot of people might think I'm crazy for this, but I would love to see mic check in a live setting. All of the fans in the audience that would be more orientated to Rage's funk style rather than their rock style is gonna need this track for sure. Number 13, Know Your Enemy. And this is where I would start having spaces between each track, right? Sort of emphasizing that like we're towards the end of the show, this is what's happening right now. I mean, Know Your Enemy's gotta be in there somewhere, so towards the end, not the very end, but towards the end I think is perfect. All right, so for numbers 14, 15, and 16, I would be thinking like we gotta keep this energy high as hell for these last few tracks before the encore, right? Number 14, Bulls on Parade. Number 15, Wake Up. Number 16, War Within a Breath. Mainly because I feel like having Bulls on Parade and Wake Up right next to each other will kind of slow down the tempo a little bit. I think for the last track of the regular show before the encore, you're just gonna need to take it up a notch. And like, honestly, what better way to do that than with War Within a Breath? I mean, imagine you've just seen an entire Rage show and it's like, yeah, okay, there's probably gonna be an encore, but this is the last song of like the regular set. Like the last minute of War Within a Breath, somebody's gonna die. Like, and that's a good thing now. I'm just sorry, YouTube. Like, I would want to see that crowd jump. I would want to be in the crowd jumping. And this is like the perfect track to get that to happen. So that's number 16. Let's move on to the 2 encore tracks. You just played War Within a Breath. Everything's silent, right? Everybody's cheering one more song, whatever. And then just imagine this, right? You Can't Stop Us Now. Yeah, Renegades of Funk is gonna need to be my first encore track. And some people might be thinking like, what? Like you need like a hit from this band right after that. But God, it's like so perfect to like end the show and then the very next words in the encore would be, You Can't Stop Us Now. That kicks ass. Get the room to dance. It's post-show territory. Have some fun, play Renegades. And yeah, last track, gonna need to be Killing in the Name. Now the most popular track does not always need to be the final encore song, right? Sometimes I think it's terrible when bands do it because it's clearly not the best song for your final track. In this case though, yeah, it's gotta be Killing in the Name, just straight up. Some notable exceptions on this list. Freedom, Take the Power Back, maybe Viet Now. Honestly, this list isn't an opinion of how much I like the song, it's just can I see it happening live? And with those, honestly, I just really can't see it doing as much for me as with the tracks that I got on this list. So there you go. There's my perfect set list for Rage Against the Machine. Let me know in the comments if you agree. What would your perfect set list be? Like, list it out. I really want to see what you think. Give me some explanation too. Like, why do you think this would be a better opener or a better encore track? I'm really curious. Other than that, this has been Orf with my perfect set list for Rage Against the Machine. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! It's just like should I keep the voice crack in? Bye!